So, hello. Hopefully you don't mind that I am just getting things ready for a walk here before I read this book. Oh no. No, I just spilled these everywhere. That was really dumb. Okay, you know what, these things need like happen. Have you ever made popcorn? There's a way to make popcorn. I don't have butter though. I have butter. Anyways, if you get one of these bags, like this, and you just fill it up. You just fill it up to where there's like one kernel layer, a layer of one kernel on the bottom. Just smooth and flat. Not very many. And that, and put it in the microwave, and it will pop. Okay, so I just need to lock up my car, and we'll go. I'm parked. 30-minute limit. I got a chain at my car. Where's my coat? Hello? Hello. Okay, just a moment here. Sorry. Just one moment here. Sorry. Okay, so sorry about that. It's been 10 minutes. I haven't even gotten started. So, I'm going for a walk. Today I'm going to be reading while walking. Sorry, I'm back. This coat kind of makes me feel ridiculous. It's puffy. It's puffy. And my puffy coat. You know what? I'm gonna read. I walk. Okay, so here we go. War of the Twins. So to catch you up, it would really be beneficial to watch there's a playlist on my channel, Adamark Gaming. I'm streaming that right now. So right now I'm streaming 2 places at once. Adamark Gaming. You can see that there's a button for playlists, and you'll want to go to there. I think I want to go this way first. A button for playlists, and then you'll want to go to Dragonlance Synchronicity. There's the uncensored one, which is what I'm doing right now. And there's the other one that are the videos that will pretty much explain everything, how I caught on to it. I made a video where I tried to prove that it was real by doing a quick little test using random stuff. I mean, hopefully you understand that test with random stuff is basically just using basically random, just anything random to see what they give you, to prove that it worked, that the person's trying to help you or whatever, or the person is timing themselves synchronized to try to help you or whatever. I guess I haven't really thought of it in the direction. But I have tried to ask while I was getting help, and the response that I got was that they can ignore it, or that they're more attracted to love, or like, you know, thinking about good or focused on good. Or positive, like safe. So anyways, where's my, oh, here it is. Here's my book. So here's a tent. Is this where it gets intense? There's Christiania now here, and so is Caramon. So that's good. Where are you going? Caramon demanded harshly. Stepping into his tent, his eyes blinked rapidly to try to get accustomed to the shadowy darkness after the chill glare of the autumn sun. "I'm moving out," Chrysania said, carefully folding her white clerical robes and placing them in a chest that had been stored beneath her cot. Now it sat open on the floor beside her. Funny. Is it okay if I use your microwave really quick? Thank you. Cool. Okay. So we've been through this, Caramon growled in a low voice, glancing behind him at the guards outside the tent entrance. He carefully lowered the tent flap. I don't really want to wear that thing. It's kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Now it seems to be kind of teasing me. Caramon's tent was his pride and joy, having originally belonged to a wealthy knight of Solomnia. It had been brought to Caramon as a gift by two young, stern-faced men, who, though they claimed to have found it, handled it with such skilled hands and loving care that it was obvious they had no more found it than they had found their own arms or legs. What does that mean? Huh. So, okay. So I just made some.
It's okay. Oh, that was funny.
Thank you. Okay, so. Okay, so. Made of some fabric none in this day and age could identify. It was so cunningly woven that not a breath of wind penetrated even the seams. Rainwater rolled right off it. Graceland said it had been treated with some sort of oil. It was large enough for Caramon's cot. Several large chests containing maps, the money, the jewels they brought from the Tower of High Sorcery, jewels on drugs, clothes and armor, plus a cot for Chrysania. Now, let me explain everything. As well as a chest for her clothing. Still, it did not seem crowded when Caramon received visitors. So, anyways, as I was saying, so let me just explain really quick what's happening here. So this is a war. This is the War of the Twins. The reason why it's the War of the Twins is it represents the war on drugs. And basically, if you watch my video, how is Korean America? You'll wake up to how the author's subconscious mind responded to real people, the real world, because they can't come up with fake things. They can't come up with something out of nothing. It had to come from somewhere. So it's very interesting how it will have to do with Utah, where they're from, or like America, and just in bits and pieces, you know. And you can tell that they did stuff to make sure it was original and it wasn't taken from anything real. You know, you can tell that they try to do this. You know, how much does every fantasy writer do that, you know? Who knows? But like, but anyways, so I have discovered something new since I made that video, and that would be dwarves, the mountain dwarves, have represented the most strict Mormons of Orem and Provo area. The most strict Mormons of the Provo and Orem area. So these strict Mormons have all this treasure, and you know, and the other ones, the hill dwarves. Okay, so hill represents changing. Yam Hill, that street, has represented Amber changing, because when I first came here to Portland to meet her, I went to the Rose Festival, and there were 2 entrances, and one of the entrances was for Taylor, so I knew the other one was for Amber, because Taylor was another girl I was dreaming of, and it wasn't her. So I was also talking to the birds, and I was changing the sounds of nature so they would be nice to her. She was asking me in her sleep to fix the sounds of nature because the birds were being mean to her. They were being abusive. They were, you know, probably calling her names, doing things that would cause depression, or like maybe, who knows. The birds are very dangerous. And so when I came here, I woke up to the birds being very, very intelligent, and that's why I've been calling this the tweeting 20s, wake people up to how important it is to wake people up to that and to do things to fix their sound. It's really important because they can be helpful or they can be harmful. When a person, so I've been doing things like feeding the birds seeds to save the bugs, so that gravity is like, you know, more trusting me or whatever space is, because of what's trying to share it right now, right? Bugs and pterodactyls were here before people, right? So that's kind of weird to think about. They were, well, like glowing. They're not glowing, but they were here. They'd probably be here after humanity too, right? They probably are better at surviving than we are. Maybe not though, but who knows? One of the things that might really be endangering us would be what pride, trusting ourselves. That might be real. Anyways, so who knows? I mean, maybe the dinosaurs ran out of food or something, you know? I mean, with mammals, how we are born eating our parents, maybe there's a connection. We had to learn something so that we wouldn't be the next extinct, whatever. So anyways, back to the story. So Caramon, so I woke up to my friend synchronizing as a couple characters. Tasselok Burfa would be her nuisance side, and if she becomes Wanderlust and changes her life, or the part of her that did, is the beautiful Lady Lorana. That'd probably be the older version of her, the wiser one. She's the golden general, it's like old. And so that was pretty interesting, right? Because they use the same names and stuff. So that it seemed like they were trying to get me to forgive her, the way that they worded it and the way that they did everything. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so I woke up to, so just watch those videos. How I woke up to this Dragonlance synchronicity. This video was really amazing and helpful. And let's see, where am I going? The street light change. Holding my breath. I want to breathe in. Okay. So anyways, so hill dwarves have represented like Jack Mormons, or like people in Utah. Jack Mormons, basically. People that were part of the church or whatever, but they're like Democrats or something. I don't know. And so my friend synchronized as Flint Fireforge. That's just one of the characters who it synchronized as. So anyways, so Caramon would be my brother. I always thought it was Carmen, his name Carmen. That's funny because he's a Republican. And now I wake up to, it's pronounced Care Amen. Care Amen. Very funny. So I was trying to get people to do things more against pollution, you know, on both sides of politics. I do believe that people could do that. I do believe they should do that. And it shouldn't be something political. I think they could, you know, just, I don't know, do grants or something. Or just restrictions, maybe. I don't know. Or possibilities that never end up happening. I don't know. To get people thinking more, or to get them to be prepared for it. You're just required to be prepared for doing this, you know, or something like that. I don't know. Might be a really good idea. Anyways, so it was large enough for Caramon's cot. Several large chests containing maps. So I synchronized his race, and I woke up to that first because of veganism and the part of the book where I was most annoyed of was with the forest master when he eats something there. But yeah, just watch that video and it'll catch you up to that. Sorry, it's taking a long time. Okay, so let me just read it. But so what was so cunning? No, some of the made of some fabric none of this day and age could identify. It was so cunningly woven that not a breath of wind penetrated even the seams. Interesting. So basically, Fizban is represented somebody taking the blame for lag, or maybe being blocked or something from being seen by the public. Because the name Fizban represents that. It doesn't really mean that it's true. It just means the person's taking the blame for it. But anyways, so that's interesting. I need to hold my breath for a while. It's me, a sticky car. Exhale only when that happens. Wow. I do that, by the way, much more than other people, so hopefully it smells on me. I used to work in a parking lot, though. Yeah, so anyways, so in this part here, they are found 100 years after the cataclysm. So that means basically after I was prevented from meeting this girl because of Canada and my name being Adam. The letter M means moving to a different place or to a better place. And so basically it's asking me not to freak out when, you know, the fiery mountain kind of wakes us up to a hair covering a laser pointer could, you know, cause a person to go crazy, and then like war happens or whatever, right? Because of the mouse jumping on its own or something crazy. But what's going on with me is the most interesting. It's definitely the most interesting. I should be getting views. I should have followers. It's a clear indication that something is wrong by my not having that. So, I mean, that's pretty weird. Anyways, so I mean, from my perspective, I'm worried that somebody's been trying to convince me that people know about me by having people constantly do things around me that prove to me that they know about me when they actually don't know. Just to trick me into thinking that they know. But I mean, it's really important for people to know about what's going on with me. So, anyways. Rainwater. So Fizban is a church of he represents like the president of the Mormon Church or something like that. It's funny. And then Paladine would be someone else potentially. I guess it would be somebody unknown because I didn't actually see who it was in the dream I had. But I guess, and then the king priests represent what? Somebody that's hooking up a star, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure. Because of the New York being where Istar is located, and the stock market, it's like the stock market moving for a star. And then anyways, oh, I guess that makes sense though. So it's like, I don't know. So Caramon and Raceland are going to, they're accompanying the humans and the hill dwarves to get food and help from the mountain dwarves that have been accused of hoarding and stuff like that. And they don't have enough for them and everything, so basically that would represent like suing or something like that, right? So it's basically like warning me what not to do, and just it's really interesting. It's making things a lot more entertaining and fun. Rainwater rolled right off it. Raceland said it had been treated with some sort of oil. So basically, 100 years after it might be either 1 or you're 0, and you found that he's 0. So why would somebody even think that? Nobody ever asked me anything. I never got invited. No, but I'm not exactly like trying to join anything, but I'm trying to bring funerals to people. I want it to be accepted and friendly in whatever religion or faith they're from. Anyways. So Raceland slept, and okay, so basically saying that the fabric, it was so cunningly woven that not a breath of wind penetrated even the seams. That would basically mean that what I've done hasn't reached that girl potentially, or it's like trying to get me to go faster, or work harder, make sure that she knows. So I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm streaming. Anyways, okay, so rainwater rolled right off it. What does that mean? People have wept. Raceland said it had been treated with some sort of oil. People have touched themselves. It was large enough for Caramon's cot. Several large chests containing maps, the money and jewels they brought from the Tower of High Sorcery. That would represent Jews on drugs, maybe. Clothes and armor, plus a cot for Chrysania. So that's not necessarily true, because it doesn't necessarily mean drugs. It just, that's why people fail the test. That's why they die, it's because of drugs. Typically, because not everybody survives the test of high sorcery, but people don't need to be on drugs to get those same lessons or to learn those same things. They are very far out ideas, and but a person can get high from coming up with ideas and just talking. They don't need to do drugs. But when they don't survive the test of high sorcery, that's where the test of high sorcery will represent, drugs or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just something that has tried to warn me of that. So clothes and armor, plus a cot for Christiania. Cot means making sure to take her fabric, potentially, as well as a chest for her clothing. I mean, maybe it's always going to try to do things in a way that motivates me to go faster, or to work harder, or to, win. As well as a chest for her clothing. Right there, that's warning me. As if there'd be somebody tied to her that's not me, no matter what she wears. Like maybe the person threatened her and she feels that she has to. Maybe she was watching me and, maybe the person said, I'm going to put something in his food if you don't do this with me. Or who knows? All of that's very possible. All that's very real. Stuff like that happens in the world, I should know if that's happening. She should not be afraid. Contact me. Contact the police. Don't let those people scare you. Let people know. Let everybody know. If you're being blocked, I should have done more about it, obviously. Let a crowd of people know. Go to church or something, I don't know. But the thing is I wasn't sure if I was being blocked or if this girl was just, totally dumb and, went along with what my ex-girlfriend tried to get her to do. But anyways, okay, so, because it took time to find out what's going on with me, and a person is supposed to think I'm crazy until they've reached a point where they're like, oh, that's actually not crazy, that's totally makes a lot of sense. But okay, so Graceland slept and studied in a smaller tent made of the same fabric. Yes, this is actually very similar to what was stolen from me. Pretty sad that there'd be a network like that. But the one that I had selected that was going to be for her, she was actually telling me that it wasn't when I selected it. She was actually saying not to do that and to say that it was for me. So now it makes more sense why she was doing that. But I knew it was our hands. She wanted to wrap her hands with mine. So, according to what she told me in my dreams and stuff. So, it didn't really matter, But I guess since the fabric's gone, what's really cool is the first night, right when I got the fabric, I was tripping, I was kind of getting spooked. I was like, oh my God, is this gonna be wrapped around her dead body? And I started to be like, oh my God, am I seeing it now? Ah. Honestly, I guess I've been wondering if the small intestine is actually what our memory comes from. And, interesting. because of our heavier mass, it might be connecting us to a different body in a different time period. And so we're actually getting a glimpse of what was actually there. Wait, are we on Foster?
No, this is 52nd.
Oh. Thank you. I almost went the wrong way. Anyways, okay, so that's a beautiful dog. So Raceland slept and studied in a smaller tent made of the same fabric. I mean, how does fabric connect somebody with somebody else? You know, it probably would be what's living inside of this. Maybe, I don't know. The colonies, bacteria, or whatever. But I don't think it's not really possible to really connect to somebody else. It's always going to be a version of yourself. In a way, you know. I mean, I think it's kind of wrong to think that you know somebody. That the effort to get to know them should never stop. Because assigning a person a personality can be abusive, and a person may acquire, you know, personality traits that hold them back somewhere, or assign them in being some way when they might be better off changing. Anyways, Raceland slept and studied in a smaller tent made of the same fabric and construction. I mean, I am sleeping with the same fabric, but it's different. In construction that was pitched near his brother's. Though Caramon had offered to share the larger tent, the mage had insisted upon privacy. Interesting. Does that mean like there's many more ways to be one? The mage had, okay, knowing his twin's need for solitude and quiet, and not particularly enjoying being around his brother anyway, Caramon had not argued. Chrysania, however, had openly rebelled when told she must remain in Caramon's tent. So, that would mean she doesn't want to become a Republican. That's very true. Because he's a Republican. Do they call themselves one? Maybe. That's funny. Eber Caspell made a song called Simon is One, and she was conservative. She owned the house, so she didn't want her tax to go up. So, okay. That's funny. So, in vain, Caramon argued that it was safer for her there. Because there's no drugs. Like, who are those people? What are those people on that side? Stories about her witchcraft, the strange medallion of a reviled god she wore, and her healing of the big warrior had spread quickly through the camp and were eagerly whispered to all newcomers. That kind of means he went over her wall and thought, this girl's crazy. She doesn't believe in the same things as me. That's possibly it. That's funny. The cleric never left her tent, but that dark glances followed her. What? That doesn't make sense. The cleric never left her tent, but that dark glances followed her. Oh, I know what that means. That means she's still a Democrat, but she's open-minded because she knows she's being watched. She knows they're, being protected. They're spying and protecting her. Cops and welts, But I mean, probably not as much as people think, right? But who knows? It could be. I mean, there have been a lot of concern over what's going on with us, so probably be more with her. In vain, Caramon argued that it was safer for her there. Oh, wait, hold on, I heard that. Women grabbed their babies to their breasts when she came near. What does that mean? She was that different? Small children ran from her in fear that was half mocking and half real. And they tell their children to stay away from her, potentially. Really? I never really saw that. I don't really know. I saw her stream a little bit, that's all. It seemed pretty, child friendly, and she looked like a family oriented girl maybe. But honestly, I would have possibly been spooked and been like, oh, I gotta pick something else if I saw her Facebook. When I searched for her, I couldn't find her. It wasn't there. I wasn't seeing her Facebook until I was in Portland. I had already done it, and I was like, oh. And I kind of thought that when I looked at it for the first time, I was like, I would have picked somebody else because I wanted to find somebody who is family oriented. But I had those dreams, so I knew I had to meet her. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, women grabbed their babies to their breasts when she came near. That means they're afraid of her being too open. They're afraid of her being okay with multiple lovers or something like that. I am well aware of your arguments, Chrysanthemum remarked, continuing to fold her clothes and pack them away without looking up at the big man. My brother's 6'4" or something. And I don't concede them. Oh. She stopped him as he drew a breath to speak. He's not my twin, but I feel like they made him a twin so that I don't pretend that we were perfect or that we were better than people that were twins or that could have messed up in ways that we didn't. Just be understanding and not, careful. I've been dreaming of being Skywalker or whatever because of my dad and just everything. It's like he's Darth Vader, potentially, if he is being too unhealthy, try to get him, because it might try to get him to be healthier, to have the more green food, and instead of the red, because he could have a pacemaker or something, or die, So he looks like Harrison Ford, and I've wondered, things like, I don't know, if Harrison Ford was selected because he looked like him and stuff like that. But because I know that that's been real with actors or actresses, like with when people say they look like them, or when they get reviews because of somebody out there that do things. Like recently they've linked him to, maybe because of what I've shared or something, I don't know. But like they did a ad that was connecting his fist to my dad's fist that's in a movie where he's a psychic killer or whatever. Anyways. So what was that? I'm well aware of your arguments, Chris Sanio remarked, continuing to fold her clothes and pack them away without looking up at the big man. I already read that. And I don't concede them. Oh, she stopped him as she drew a breath to speak. That means connecting to her spouse more. I've heard your stories of witch burning more than once. That means that she heard it from her spouse or her partner more about him. I do not doubt their validity. But that was in a day and age far removed from this one. Huh. He hasn't really been judgmental. I feel like I need to do this. Grilled cheese. That's a grilled cheese. Grilled cheese. It's vegan. It's good though. Oh my gosh, that's good. So, she stopped him. So where I'm going, I should be getting some real food. She stopped him and he drew a breath to speak. I've heard your stories, blah, 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 I already heard said that. Whose tent are you moving to then? Fairmont asked, his face flushing. My brother's? So, that might be asking her if she'll switch parties, political parties. But he may not know that I've actually changed. Not really, though. It's the same. I want to get approval letters as fast as possible. And there's a lot more Democrats. I've been pretty unfamiliar with politics, and I'm learning about it. Originally, I would have wanted to be a Democrat for weed to be legalized, and then I joined the right side to prove that I was done with drugs, and that's all I knew. And then I found out more. I was afraid my job would fire me, or they would find out about my past or something. They knew though. I wouldn't have had to do that. I didn't want to talk about it though.
if I would have been a Democrat, I would have had to talk about it a lot more. Because they would have tried to convince me to change. Also, I just think my dad would have stressed out more, and I worry about him. You know? I don't want him to worry about me. But yeah, last time I voted for Jim, I was really mad at what happened in Utah. The hospitals didn't do enough to help me. I want change to happen faster somehow. It's like, dang, hospitals want the Democrats, don't they? So I wasn't sure what to do. And there's other reasons I was kind of spooked. But, okay. So, Chrisania, I'm sorry, Carmon said, moving toward her. She still did not look at him. Reaching out his hands, he took hold of her arms gently and turned her around, forcing her to face him. I didn't mean that. Please forgive me. And yes, I think it is necessary to post a guard, but there is no one I trust, Chrisania, unless it is myself. And even then, his breathing quickened. That means he's married. He's already married. He's married to Tika. So my brother met his wife on the internet. So Tika White land makes sense. The landline, the on that landline. She was ready to get married, so she has red hair. The air element is for the spouse. So when they're breathing quicker or whatever, that's why it connects to them. So, okay, so weird. But there is no one I trust, blah, 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 blah. And even then, his breathing quickened. The hands on her arms tightened almost imperceptibly. I love you, Chrisania, he said softly. Whoa. You're not like any other woman I've ever known. I didn't mean to. He must have played video games. He probably wishes his wife would. I don't know how it happened. I didn't even really much like you when I first met you. I thought you were cold and uncaring, wrapped up in that religion of yours. Religion. But when I saw you in the clutches of that half-ogre, I saw your courage. And when I thought about what they might do to you, what religion? I'm curious. He felt her shudder involuntarily. She still had dreams about that night. She tried to speak, but Caramon took advantage of her reaction to hurry on. I've seen you with my brother. It reminds me of the way I was in the old days. His voice grew wistful. He's older than me, a lot older. You care for him so tenderly, so patiently. Chrisania did not break free of his grasp. She simply stood there, looking up at him with clear gray eyes, holding the folded white robe close against her chest. That again is warning me, as if I need to make sure she's monogamous. She's not going to let anybody threaten her, come up with any religious excuse to do anything stupid. I'm not easy, and I don't want to be with somebody that's easy either. The girl I met, though, at Lovecraft, I mean, we just started kissing out of nowhere. We didn't know each other. And I believe it was her. I mean, she got a ride home with other people. It was very obviously her. She looked like her. I swear her name was the same. I was really drunk, though. So that's the only reason. But when I use my memory, it's her, though. I swear it was her. I'm such a jerk for not remembering that before. I should have known. I was stupid. She lived in Portland. Of course I saw her before. It's kind of impossible for me not to. Stupid. Especially if she's attractive. I don't know. It's not that big, though. Anyways. There are a lot of people that really don't go out, though. I mean, because the club scene, for example, it's always changing, and it's never the same people. It will be kind of some of the same people, but it does change, and those people, like, well, I guess Hive probably has a lot of the same people. I stopped, I shouldn't have 86 myself. You know, he actually told me that I could go back and if I met him first or whatever. Oh well, I just haven't done it. But anyways, so that was stupid. I was upset the night that I don't want to tell you. I know Beth would forgive me, though. It was a very stupid thing. I was just upset because she knows that she did something that was out of line. She knows what she did that was wrong. But she didn't know. She made a mistake. She made a mistake. It was a simple mistake. I was really drunk. I was upset. I overreacted. Somebody died, and I was upset. But anyways, so I didn't mean that. Please forgive me. And yes, I think it is necessary to post a guard. But there is no blah blah. I already said all that. So this too is a reason, Caramon, she said sadly. I have sensed you're growing. Now she flushed slightly. Affection for me, and while I know you too well to believe you would ever force attentions on me that I would consider unwelcome, I do not feel comfortable sleeping in the same tent alone with you. He's married. Chrysania, he began, his face anguished, his hands trembling as they held her. What you feel for me isn't love, Caramon, Chrysania said softly. You are lonely. You miss your wife. It is her you love. I know. I've seen the tenderness in your eyes when you talk about Tika. His face darkened at the sound of Tika's name. What would you know of love? Caramon asked, abruptly releasing his grasp and looking away. I love Tika. Sure. I've loved lots of women. Tika's loved her share of men, too, I'll wager. He drew in an angry breath. That wasn't true, and he knew it. He drew in an angry breath, get it? Because he married her. Air has represented marriage. That wasn't true, and he knew it. But it eased his own guilt he'd been wrestling with for months. Tika's human. Like, it's not true that she slept with as many people. Probably, right? He was from the city. She wasn't. He continued surlily. She's flesh and blood. not some pillar of ice. What do I know? What do I know of love? Chrysania repeated, her calm slipping, her gray eyes darkening in anger. I'll tell you what I know of love. Don't say it, Caramon cried in a voice low, completely losing control of himself and grabbing her in his arms. Whoa. Don't say you love Raceland. He doesn't deserve your love. He's using you, just like he used me. He'll throw you away when he's finished. Something my brother would not say, I don't think. Let go of me, Chrysania demanded. Her cheeks stained pink, her eyes a deep gray. That's funny. Let go of me, she demanded. Her cheeks stained pink, her eyes a deep gray. Because it would be great to take her high heels, representing a slutty Italian side of her, and throw them into Lake Balboa. Like the Kate Bush song. I believe Kate Bush made that song for her because it's synchronized so perfectly. Because my ex-girlfriend calls herself Steam Balboa Gal, and she was very used to sleeping with open relationship people, and like, I don't know, she may want it, and I'm not. Of course, I don't want to go there because I've been dreaming of my children. Anyways, I mean, I wouldn't even try it with her if she was like that. If she is like that, I'm not gonna say if she was, because from the timing she gave me and what she says in my dreams and stuff, it was like, she pretty much was like, it was her way of getting rid of people, you know, so she wouldn't be stuck with anyone, or nobody would be a boss of her, or because she needed help, didn't want to work, and, you know, there's always that possibility, you know, there'll be some rich guy or whatever, I don't know, because of her job. Where is... Doesn't that make sense, though? Let go of me, Chrysania demanded, her cheeks stained pink, her eyes a deep gray. That's funny. Can't you see, Caramon cried, almost shaking her in his frustration. Are you blind? That's like asking if she's gonna live a long time. Pardon me? She said a soft voice. If I'm interrupting, but there is urgent news. Oh, because they're talking about hooking up with Raceland. See, if Chrysania is Palmby and I'm Raceland, it's like giving her a realistic perspective, because he has white hair, golden skin, it could be old skin, white hair, because I am older than her. I will die first, or I failed as a husband and father. But I mean, it is real that I've had those dreams of her. So I felt kind of trapped on my side. I need her to let me know that she knows what happened to me and has witnessed the proof that I have to show her or whatever, if that doesn't motivate her, then why the hell would I want to meet her, you know? I just wouldn't want her to waste my time anymore. I want to be a father. But I mean, it just seems like, how is that even possible? Because I've had so many dreams of her. But, you know, that's really sad. Because, I mean, I didn't dream about my other lovers until after I was with them, because they weren't good or safe for me. I don't know, so that's why I've been doing this. Anyways. Let's say, can you see lines? Pardon me if I'm interrupting. So, by saying, are you blind, it's like, are you going to live over 137 years old? Does that make sense? So it's like reminding her of the age difference between her and Raceland. Pardon me, she said a soft voice, if I'm interrupting, but there is urgent news. There's a lot of pictures showing her without eyes and Raceland. And it's kind of showing, that's what I believe it's about, because her tattoo representing the Highlander tattoo. I hear people say, get out the Church of Science. Is she into the Church of Science? That would worry me. Because, I mean, those people are totally sluts, aren't they? I wouldn't want to, there's no way I'd want to be part of that. I spent Christmas alone every year as an adult almost. I don't want to be with somebody who's easy and, you know. That's the whole reason I've been doing this, is because I don't want, to be with somebody like that. I've been worried about going after somebody else because I had dreams about this girl. So, I'm also worried about how they could have done things to get rent that would possibly connect to me, or what if they did things I'm not aware of, like certain members, because don't they need money compared to other religions in some ways? Don't they do drugs more than other religions? Yeah, I worry about that. Like, I don't want to be tied to blackmail or something like that, or accidentally encouraging it. But I mean, I don't really know anything about them, so I don't really know. I have my concerns. I don't want to get into anything to where I'm crossing a line somewhere else So a person will go, you wouldn't be good to do a pre-death funeral for or with, because like if I became a member of something, going to the Mormon church to wake them up to what their names are doing isn't becoming a Mormon. Last time I went to their church, it was on the day that represented, it was their holy day that meant changing. I have my concerns with their church too, but I think, I'm worried about how people would be less likely to enter a fire for a person that's different if I'm like, joining a side or something. Okay, so it's been an hour and 22 minutes. Wow. I really should turn this. This is really interesting though. It's really cool. Definitely, it's really cool. Wow, it's so interesting.
Register 6 for a fast assignment checkout and we'll send you on your way. Again, this is a 10-minute warning. We are closing in 10 minutes. We open our doors again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you for stopping at Dollar Tree.
They don't have those candies either? No. Dang. Hopefully they'd be okay with, doing with the churches or whatever. I'm mostly worried about whether or not they'll let me use their facility to, do the event. Outside of that, I'm not sure how much time I'll have to get into, their teachings or whatever. Aren't they all going to have some kind of control thing about them? And then that's where, if I cross a line somewhere where I'm saying this is okay, then the other ones will go, oh no, I don't want to invite you over, or I don't want you to I don't want you to use our facility or whatever. I'm worried about that. I'm trying to think of a way to be neutral in the door, kind of, or accepted, but not a member, or socially accepted. I don't know. There's a lot of people. I come across their names everywhere, and they're all requests, and I don't want their names to be wasted. And saying that they have to give somebody else some kind of faith they don't want to give them. I'm not gonna, go vouch for some stranger and then, and then go, okay, I'm gonna get to know this person, and then everybody in the country needs to, trust this person here, and it just doesn't. I grew up in Utah without being a Mormon. Everybody was Mormon, so I don't even know anything about religion. Everything that I came across was like some kind of control thing, I don't know. And, are people willing to give them money and control? How much are they willing to give them? And that's always going to be there for everything. But I don't want to make a mistake. possible. I don't want to be betrayed or worry about another person being betrayed, and then, you know, I want my word to. I'm not worried about the rent. Get a lot of people, don't they? I kind of like this popcorn. Pretty good. That's some candy, though. Probably shouldn't have one of these things, but I'm gonna go out dancing tonight.
Good evening, Dollar Tree shoppers. The store will be closing in 5 minutes. We close at 10. It is 9:55. We open our doors again tomorrow at 9 a.m. This is your 5-minute warning.
Yeah, I don't know anything about religions other than typing, what is this? And then seeing like a bunch of negative videos and a bunch of positive videos and not having the time to watch them.
Did you want a bag?
Hi. Yes. I absolutely need it. I need it. Yes. Like my fake smile. Okay. So, it's interesting.
9 times. I promise you, Ace, I tried finishing off that card over there. Promise you.
I trust you.
Yay! I did do like 5 cards though. With the help
Saw
of
that.
you, I believe.
I showed up and there was like nothing there. I was like, I didn't think it was there.
Here you are. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. I guess the more easygoing a faith would be, probably the more likely I get closer to them. I don't know, or less controlling. I don't really know anything about them. Okay. But anyways, got these grilled cheeses. They're so tasty. I got a bunch of them. I made like 3 of them. I mean, if I found out a church was blocking me or something like that, I would sue them, of course. I'm not gonna be scared. Why am I living in this country? I mean, they should tell me if they're doing that. I don't think anybody's doing that, though. Maybe, I mean, if they are, though, I need to know. I mean, isn't that why the war? It's called. This book is called "The War of the Twins," because you know who would be the most likely people to do that? The Mormon Church or something like that. You know, so my brother would be like, "I don't know what's going on." So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily go there. This band just takes the blame because that's what his name means. I guess the letter Z goes to, like, where is it? You know, the people use Facebook. Something, I don't know. Crooked Facebook staff has definitely been a part of it. From what I've witnessed in Utah, though, so I mean, they're probably Mormons or something, or just a network of men going, "Oh, I know this girl wants him. I have to block him." I know that happened to me in Utah. Scientology isn't really in Utah. But, I was using Facebook, and Facebook was doing this to me. Is there a sign? I don't know if there's Church of Science in Utah, really. But I mean, I would have. Yeah. Of course, I'd want to go to court or something. I mean, that's what the war represents in this book. It's not like I'm really going to go to war or something. But the war of drugs, though, is. But that doesn't really make sense either because we're not on drugs. But the war of the lance has been the war on drugs. I used to be a middleman for Mexicans. That was really stupid. That was like 20 years ago, though. Anyways, so what do I know of love? I mean, I joined the Green Party. I thought I had a hunch that, you know, people were wanting me to. I don't really know. I mean, I should have. I don't know. I mean, I should have thought that it was the Republicans more than I did. It was just really difficult to see that they wouldn't understand because of what I went through being such bullshit. I actually had to drag myself to the hospital, and they didn't help me. They actually didn't help me. They actually made things worse. And I actually dragged myself. And they wouldn't help me. And they made it worse. And then I had to go through a family doctor that actually helped me. And then what he gave me, I was able to walk. He gave me like hardcore drugs and I could walk. But I couldn't actually walk until I had them. I messed up my back and one of my legs was purple. It was like a pinched nerve in my back or something, pinched disc or something. What I believe actually happened was I went one night. I became too dehydrated one night. It's called going off a gnome flinger in Dragonlance. Happens from getting too dehydrated. But anyways, so what was this? Okay, so pardon me, said a soft voice. If I'm interrupting, but there is urgent news. At the sound of that voice, Chrysania's face went white, then scarlet. At the sound of that soft voice, Chrysania's face went white, then scarlet. That's letting me know that I'm capable of winning her affection and love and stuff with music. Because of my Scarlet song, maybe. That's possible. I mean, I don't really come to conclusions unless I'm out of time. So there's no harm in wondering. It's pretty interesting analyzing all this like I am, though. The person is from Utah. It really eerily connects to everything. It's really fun to do. When you look into my other videos, it's a lot more convincing that it's real. Her face, well hidden by her long... I mean, if you just understand how gravity works and the speed of the mind, you'll look up to that. Her face, well hidden by her long, black... Hold on. Her face... Where is it? Her face well hidden by her long, black, flowing hair. Her face well hidden by her long, black, flowing hair. So does that mean she hasn't faced it yet? She remained kneeling beside the chest. She's still faithful as somebody else, pretending to rearrange her things with hands that shook. I make her nervous. Scowling, his own face flushed an ugly red. Caramon turned to face his twin. Raceland coolly regarded his brother with his mirror-like eyes. There was no expression on his face, as there had been no expression in his voice when he spoke upon entering. He coolly regarded his brother with his mirror-like eyes. Remember how I just said we can't really see them, we see just a mirror of ourselves? That's funny. Because Raceland synchronizes as me. There was no expression on his face, as there had been no expression in his voice when he spoke upon first entering. But Caramon had seen for a split second the eyes crack. The glimpse of the dark and burning jealousy inside appalled him, hitting him an almost physical blow. But the look was gone instantly, leaving Caramon to doubt if he had truly seen it. Right there, it was waking me up to he saw her cleavage or something. He saw her butt crack. He was jealous. Only the tight, knotted feeling in the pit of his stomach and the sudden bitter taste in his mouth made him believe it had been there. Sorry, brother. Comparing you to this guy, it's pretty funny though. Only the tight, knotted feeling in the pit of his stomach and the sudden bitter taste in his mouth made him believe it had been there. Oh, because he probably checked her out before. He probably checked her out before I brought his attention to her on Twitch or something. I don't know. Especially because she plays Warcraft. He was into EverQuest. What news? He growled, clearing his throat. Messengers have arrived from the south, Raceland said. Yes, Caramon prompted as his brother paused. Casting off his hood, Bracelin stepped forward, his gaze holding his brother's gaze, binding them together, making the resemblance between them strong. For an instant, the mage's mask dropped. His mask? What does that mean? Casting off his hood, let me read this again. Casting off his hood, Raceland stepped forward. Okay, so he's going to go to the nicer area. His gaze holding his brother's gaze, binding them together, like wants to recreate Highland, making the resemblance between them strong. For an instant, the mage's mask dropped. He's not going to ask. Or he won't be dishonest. The dwarves of Thorbarden are preparing for war, Raceland hissed, his slender hand clutching into a fist. He spoke with such intense passion that Caramon blinked at him in astonishment, and Chrysania raised her head to regard him with concern. So, the timing of the thoughts that I had while reading that was that I have real concerns of our citizens being blocked from getting messages or human trafficking kind of thing going on. Yes, I do have that concern. And yes, that's why I want to go to court, of course. Because I mean, this war was happening with a hammer. It's just court. It's just representing court. Because they're dwarves. Anyways, confused and uncomfortable, Caramon broke free of his brother's feverish stare and turned away, pretending to shrug. I mean, our laws fix it. Our country's laws. Pretending to shuffle some maps on the map table. The warrior shrugged. I don't know what else you expected, he said coolly. It was your idea after all. Talking of hidden wealth. That's my brother saying, it's your idea after all. Talking about hiding stuff from somebody, being able to see it. We've made no secret of the fact that's where we're headed. In fact, it's practically become our recruiting slogan. So there it's warning me not to do that until I know for sure that that's happening. Join up with Fistodonalis and raid the mountain. Join up with my dad. That would represent the most scary part of the right side. Rebels, I guess, or whatever the heck, I don't know. And raid the mountain. And go find where she is. Caramon tossed this off thoughtlessly, but its effect was startling. Raceland went livid. He seemed to try to speak, but no intelligible sounds came from his lips, only a blood-stained froth. It's reminding me not that I don't need a cigarette tonight. His sunken eyes flared. It's reminding me to eat some food. As the moon on an ice-bound lake. It's reminding me that I need to drink my drink now before it gets any later. Hopefully this isn't too much. His fist still clenched, he took a step toward his brother. Fist still clenched. It's asking me whether or not I can run. Reminding me that I am not as healthy as I'd like to be, and that I stopped working out. It's It's been too cold. Chrysania sprang to her feet. Caramon, truly alarmed, took a step backward, his hand closing over the hilt of his sword. But slowly and with a visible effort, Raceland regained control. With a vicious snarl, he turned and walked from the tent. His intense anger still so apparent, however, that the guards shivered as he passed them. Caramon remained standing, lost in confusion and fear, unable to comprehend why his brother had reacted as he did. Chrysania, too, stared at Raceland in perplexity, until the sound of shouting voices outside the tent roused both of them from their thoughts. Shaking his head, Caramon walked over to the entrance. Once there, he half turned, but did not look at Chrysania as he spoke. "If we are truly preparing for war," he said coldly, "I can't take time to worry about you. As I have stated before, you won't be safe in a tent by yourself. So you'll continue to sleep here. I'll leave you alone. You may be certain of that. You have my word of honor." With this, he stepped outside the tent and began conferring with his guards. Flushing in shame, yet so angry she could not speak, Chrysania remained in the tent for a moment to regain her composure. What direction am I going? Then she too walked from the tent. One glance at the guards' faces, and she realized at once that despite the fact that she and Caramon had kept their voices low, part of their conversation had been overheard. Ignoring the curious, amused glances, she looked around quickly and saw the flutter of black robes disappearing into the forest. That means he doesn't want to be into Polly. Black robes have represented Polly, and then forest is for rest. Caramon saw Chrysania would enter the woods, though. She would do it near the edge of the camp. Maybe. Is that what that means? I don't know. He started to call to her, though he did not know of any real danger lurking in the scraggly forest of pine trees that stood at the base of the Garnet Mountains. Pine trees are everlasting. In these unsettled times, it was best not to take chances. In a way, that's kind of like saying, even if they're scraggly, at least they stay there. As her name was on his lips, however, he saw two of his men exchange knowing looks. Caramon had a sudden, vivid picture of himself calling after the cleric like some lovesick youth, and his mouth snapped shut. Perhaps here was Garrett coming up, followed by a wary-looking dwarf and a tall, dark-skinned young man decked out in the furs and feathers of a barbarian. I went too fast there, sorry. Hold on. As her name was on his lips. Two of the main exchange knowing looks. That means something being open has made her cry. Caramon had a sudden, vivid picture of calling after the cleric like some lovesick youth, and his mouth snapped shut. That's like saying he hasn't let people know when he was bothered by stuff. Besides, here was Garrick coming up, followed by a wary-looking dwarf and the tall, dark-skinned young man decked out in the furs and feathers of a barbarian. So who is Garrick again? I kind of forgot what his deal is. Who did he represent? Okay, so that was locked in caring about a heading and then justice, bringing justice and taking their share of whatever. Let's do the Mormons. Let's do the Republicans. The messengers, Caramon realized, he would have to meet with them. But his gaze went once more to the forest. Chrysania had vanished. I feel like right there it was telling me I probably shouldn't drink this. Weird. Okay. Okay. So the messengers, Caramon realized. Oh, wait, hold on. A premonition of danger seized Caramon. It was so strong that he had almost crashed through the trees after her, then and there. That would mean his children would be hurt. His marriage ending. Every warrior's instinct called to him. He could put no name to his fear, but it was there, it was real. Oh, he's afraid of that. Yet, he could not rush off, leaving these emissaries, while he went chasing after a girl. His men would never respect him again. He could sense a guard, but that would make him look almost as foolish. My brother's very attractive. Or he's actually getting older. Scary. He could send a guard, but that would make him look almost as foolish. There was no help for it. Let Paladine look after her. If that was what she wanted. Paladine? What does that mean? He could send a guard, but that would make him look almost as foolish. Oh. That she should be normal and and get married too? That would be like Episcopal or something? Gritting his teeth, Caramon turned to greet the messengers and lead them into his tent. I don't think my parents really knew what the difference was much. Once he had made them comfortable, and he exchanged formal and meaningless pleasantries. Once food had been brought and drinks poured, he excused himself and slipped out the back. That was really cool. fun. So glad I got back to the part with Bracelet and Chrysania and Caramon. Really cool reading that. I apologize for how it was doing that. Tension with Caramon and Chrysania, but it is seemingly making me think about things I need to think about, because I have been betrayed before. Not my brother, though. Doesn't mean he's not capable. But I have given him 2 of my girlfriends. He asked me, though, if it was okay before he did it. I was like, I don't care. She likes you, then she doesn't like me. I don't want to be with her. She was wanting sex. She was wanting to sleep with me. I was like a teenager. I don't want to do that. I was too young. The youngest woman I slept with was 20, and I waited until I was 18 before I lost my virginity. But they were trying to sleep with me since 13. When I turned 13, it was the first time people were trying to sleep with me. I guess. I don't really. I guess I can't assume that they were just gonna sleep with me. But like, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to get ready for sex. What the hell? Or anyways, that was really cool. Very, very cool. So fun. This is a lot longer than usual. A special 2-hour event. Very, very cool. If you're in Portland, I am going to the Coffin Club tonight. And I do this every night at 8 o'clock. I read Dragonlance. I'm going to be doing other books just to see what happens. I'll just measure my thoughts and see what happens. I want to know what happens with the Forgotten Realms. I'm just wondering if it'll do the same thing, because the only thing I read was Homeland and I think one other book. And it was so good, but I don't remember any of it, though. That's what's so sad. I only read it once. I read the trilogy. It's funny because it's called Forgotten Realms. I read the trilogy for the Dark Elf trilogy, is what it's called. I read that. And that makes sense because it reminds me of me, because he has 2 swords. Since I dated Kat and Anna, and the letter N means loving, so if you take away a letter N from her name, it's a katana. So 2 half swords kind of reminds me of 2 scimitars, because the word scimitar is like warning a person of STDs, because the letter S is measuring what enters the body for a Dead Sea Scroll. If you look at the origin, you just type the letter S in the Wikipedia and look at the hieroglyph. It'll show you like a scroll. They used to measure what enters the body and then put that into a mummy. So when you find 2 of them, it basically means we know it has entered the body. And then Wow. And then, sorry, what did I do? What the heck just happened? I just wrote a post or something? Sorry. I was talking about Forgotten Realms. And, okay, so the letter C means taking, and it's also a camel. It's a camel. It's a camel. So measure what's entering the body, and then it shows a camel. So is that like supposed to be like careful of the R's? Like, so that's why I think of the scimitar being warning of STDs. It's funny. And so yeah, they got that. We've got that warning. Yeah, I was really.
It's like, no, like, there are people who are just like.
Really don't want to sit through a STD test. I relapsed a year ago or whatever. Just like one time, but I don't know, it was really dumb. No, I'm gonna risk anything though. Anyways, saying, oh yeah, I need to start my stream. It's been over 2 hours. Yeah, I want to read. I think I'll keep my other one, my website going as well. I want people to check out my website. But it's not like it's going to make more people check out my website. But I need to, oh. That's cool. So people will check out my website. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely need that. So I need to wake up tomorrow morning, go to school, and give the kids a bunch of Rough and R flyers. And then when it gets out in the afternoon, so I gotta hit 2 schools every day. Today, I must have ran into 50 kids or something. That was good. I like this album. Okay. What else did I have? I also had a Dragonlance, a meeting sextet. It was when the very first book that introduces Caramon and Raceland, Caramon, and Kitiara. So I wanted to read that because I'm curious of what will happen when it's a different author, you know? Like, how different will it be? It's just weird. But Christianity is not in it, though. So I'm kind of like wanting to stay away from it. But once in a while, break out a chapter or something. That'll be interesting. Very, very cool. That was so cool. Okay, well, goodbye, Adamark Gaming. Go to I'm still streaming on my website, sweeting20s.com. But I'm stopping on the YouTube side.